Hello everyone, myself Gautam Kumar. Today we are going to discuss the TCS Verbal Test Paper 3, which consists of a total of 25 questions that covers various concepts and topics. We will go through each question and we will discuss each topic related to that question clearly. Okay, let's move on to the first question. The first question is based on error identification. Here, a sentence is given. For example, a sociologist studies the ways in which people live together, raise their family, and follow community structures and customs. This is the sentence given. And there will be options. We have to choose which part of the sentence is having the error. So, whenever the sentence is given, we have to look for subject verb agreement, which means the subjects. For example, in this sentence, what is the subject? Sociologist. Okay, the sociologist is singular, hence it is a singular subject. Okay, if sociologists is given, it is plural, hence it is a plural subject. Similarly, what is the verb here? Studies. Studies is singular verb, whereas study is plural verb. The subject verb agreement means a singular subject is followed by a singular verb, and every time a plural subject will followed by a plural verb. This called subject verb agreement. Okay, first of all we have to check this subject verb agreement in the options. Here sociologist is singular whereas study is plural, hence it is having subject verb agreement error, hence the error is option B. Generally the students will get confused with this verb form, whether it is singular or plural. The subject, every student will know that sociologist is singular, sociologist is plural. But when it comes to verb forms, they will confuse. For example, if it take another example, we'll take a singular subject. For example, he and a verb plays. He plays football. Here he is singular. Plays is singular. Generally, student will confuse that play is singular and place is plural. But in verb forms, play is plural and place is singular. So you must make sure the verb forms which is singular and plural in order to find out this error identification sentences. Okay, next move on to the second question. The second question is also on this error identification. Okay, we'll see. May you carry these books for me, please? Okay, here the may is the modal verb. Okay, the may, can, could, might, shall, should, these are all called modal verbs. Okay, first of all we have to see like whether the sentence is correct or not. Before that we have to see when this modal verb may will be used. Okay, the modal verb may will be used when like the sentence is expressing permission or possibility. Okay, the will everyone knows one sentence like generally students will ask may I come in, right? May I come in means we are asking for a permission. So whenever we are asking for a permission or a possibility, a sentence which expressing that permission or possibility, we have to go for modal verb may. Okay, but if you see here, may you carry these books for me, please. This is not a permission sentence. This is a requesting sentence. Okay, someone is requesting someone to carry his books. So whenever the sentence expressing, requesting, and politely, we have to go for can or could. We have to remember these things. For which modal verb is using for which purpose. Here for requesting purpose, we are using can or could. We can use can you carry these books for me, please? Or could you carry these books for me, please? If we go for could, it means it will be more polite. For example, if you see the same sentence, if you want to use may, which is the sentence which expresses permission or possibility is may. Okay, we'll apply may to this sentence and we'll see. May you carry these books for me means we can may you carry these books for me, please. Okay. In this sentence, we can apply may I carry these books, which is you are asking for a permission. May I carry these books? Okay. Now I think you have understood when we have to use may and when we have to use can. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Hence, you can know from the options may you is having error. It should be replaced with can you or could you. Okay, let's move to the third question. The third question is also based on this error identification. Here also the subject is neither of them and verb is or. Okay, we have to see first the subject is singular or plural. First of all, no, either means any. Okay, either means any of them is singular. We are choosing of them is any one of them, which is singular. And what is neither means not either. Okay, not either, not any of them, which is also talks about singular subject only. Hence, either or neither is both singular. Okay, so they should followed by a singular verb only. Hence, neither of them is should followed by is, not are. Always remember the singular subjects. For example, either, neither, each, everyone. These are all called singular subjects only. Whenever these subjects will come, should be followed by a verb which is singular. That is or was. Okay. Hence, the part which is having error is option C. It should be neither of them is, not are. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Here a passage is given. I mean, a paragraph is given. It is having two blanks. We have to choose uh, which option best fits that blank. Okay. First of all, read the paragraph. The cost of production of electricity has increased in the last 2 years. Because of high production changes, the government has dash the people to reduce their electricity dash. Hopefully, the situation will be at ease in coming years. If you understand the paragraph, it is telling like the cost of production of electricity has increased, so the government is requesting the people to reduce their electricity usage. Yeah. Hence, if you see these blanks clearly, because of high production changes, the government has dashed the people. It should be like requesting the people in the sense it has to come. Okay. Just go for blank one options. We have options persuaded, funded, resulted, convinced. Okay, let's go through each option. What does it means and when we have to use those. Persuaded. Persuaded means encouraging someone to do some action. Okay. Persuaded means we have to encouraging someone to do something, to take some action. Whereas funding means to giving some amount. Okay. Resulted means it is followed by a consequence. But here it is following by an action. Okay. For example, like let's take an example for resulted. Mm, the corona cases increased rapidly, which resulted in decrease of available beds in hospitals. Now we understood like resulted word whenever we use it will followed by a consequence, not an action. Okay. Convinced. If we see the word convinced, the convinced word is close to the blank, but there will be a little difference between the persuaded and the convinced. Convinced means to change someone's opinions on something, whereas persuaded means to encourage someone to do some action. Here, the government is encouraging the people to do some action that is to reduce their electricity usage. Hence, among this persuaded and convinced, persuaded is better option when convinced when compared to convinced. Okay, hence the first blank goes with persuaded. And if you see the blank two, to reduce their electricity usage will come. And similar to what we have to see connection, consumption, station, meter. If you see clearly, we can know that we have to reduce their electricity consumption because we can reduce the connection, station, or meter. According to the paragraph, it is electricity consumption. Okay, so the option is blank 1A, blank 2B, which is option C. Okay, let's move on to next question. Question number 5. Eagles can fly dash sparrows. Okay, here uh, there is a comparison between eagles and sparrows. Okay, and if you see the options, there are uh, two options like similar like than and then. We have to know when than is used and when then is used. Then is nothing but it will imply a consequence. In sentences, we will use then, that is required, that is followed by a consequence. But whenever there is a comparing between two comparing elements, that is here the comparing elements is eagles and sparrows, we have to use than in between. Hence, we are having two options that is having than. We are having taller than, higher than. Okay. Let first see when we use for taller than. The taller than is used when we are comparing the heights between two objects or people. Okay, for example, Ram is taller than Naveen. For example, some tree is taller than some other tree. Like that, we used to compare physical height. We can go for taller than. Whereas higher than means higher than is always used to reference the altitudes. Okay, it is used to reference the vertical distance at some point of heights. So here we there may easily here comparing eagles can fly more height than sparrows, which is a reference to altitude. We will go for higher than. Okay, higher than means whenever there is a reference to altitudes, a vertical distance, we will go with higher than. Okay, let's move on to next question. Question number 6. A paragraph is given followed by blanks. Okay, let's see. Let's go through the paragraph once. There are many hobbies that one can practice for leisure. Traveling for exploration can be one of the most dash hobbies one can practice. Nevertheless, it is the most expensive too, as in nowadays the airfares are dash. However, one can still explore cheaper options and nearby destinations for traveling. Okay, here it is the paragraph that is discussing about the hobby and how that hobby is more expensive. Okay, because they're discussing about a hobby which is traveling, and they're again telling that the airfares has been increased, hence it is very expensive to travel. Okay, first of all we have to understand the paragraph what it is telling, then we can go for the suitable options from the below. Okay, if the first blank means what it is telling, traveling for exploration can be one of the most, which is like it is a hobby that one can practice for leisure, and it can be one of the most dash hobbies one can practice means here it will come most enjoyable, some fulfilling option. Okay, let's see for the blank one options. Here we have a four options: nourishing, glorifying, dissatisfying, fulfilling. Let's see the first option, nourishing. Always remember the nourishing option comes for food and growth. Whenever this is a reference for food and growth, we'll use the nourishing option, not with hobbies. Okay, and we will go for second option, which is glorifying. Glorifying is nothing but praising or telling something is special. It is not about habits. It is about telling or praising something. Okay. If you see dissatisfying, it is completely unintended to that blank. Means they are telling that is one of the most enjoyable hobbies, but is here it is mentioned dissatisfied, which is not intended to come in that blank. The final option is fulfilling. Fulfilling means enjoyable, purposeful, and having a bit of like satisfaction. Hence, the option D will suit the blank one. Okay, and here it is clearly mentioned. It is the most expensive, as nowadays the airfares are increasing, which means it became more expensive. Means the fares is nothing but price. The price is increasing. We have to see which option suits the option increasing. Okay, let's see the options blanks, which is like distribution means we have to distribute something that is not relatable. Refunding means refunding, which is giving amount back, that is not related. Decreasing is not suited here because the airfares are increasing. Okay, so decreasing is not intended to fulfill that blank. Hence, the last option is skyrocketing. First, we have to know that meaning of that word skyrocketing. Skyrocketing means increasing rapidly. Okay, increasing rapidly. Hence, it is the most expensive to us nowadays. The airfares are increasing means they are only telling it is most expensive. Most expensive means most costly. That means the airfares are becoming increasing. The price is increasing. That then the skyrocketing will come in the option two. Okay. Okay. Here a fill in the blank sentence is given. We have to choose the appropriate word that will fill in this blank. Okay. Let's go through the sentence once and understand the sentence once clearly. The most obvious evil of the advertisement industry lies in the exaggerated dash of the product's actual goodness. Okay, they're telling like evil of the advertisement industry means evil means like disadvantage in the sense disadvantage or okay, something like disadvantage. The disadvantage of the advertisement industry is they're exaggerating something. Because of exaggerating something uh, more of the product, actual product, they're exaggerating the product more, that will lead to disadvantage of the advertisement industry. Okay, let's see the options that you will be more clear about the question. Well, let's see the misinformation is nothing but the information which is misleading. They're telling the most drawback of the evil means drawback. The most drawback of the these advertisements will be there. No? This advertisement industry lies in the exaggerated, misleading information of the product's actual goodness. Means these advertisement industries are more exaggerated means more giving hype. Okay, this exaggeration of this misleading information they are giving through advertisements is the drawback of the advertisement industry. It is true, right? Hence, it will fit the blank one. Okay, let's cross check the other options also. If we see determination means strong will. Exaggeration, strong will, it won't suit here. With judgment also, it's a judgment means forming one's opinions. So it also won't fit here because it is nothing wrong in exaggeration, determination, or judgment. That is not a drawback of the advertisement industry, right? If we see portrayal seems like fitting the blank, but we have to understand the context of the sentence. Always in the fill in the blank sentences, they will give two similar words that will suits these blanks, but in those two, only one option fits the blank according to the sentence. We have to choose like this. If you see portrayal, companies do portray their products through advertisements. So generally, students will go for the portrayal is best suiting. But according to the sentence, they're talking about the drawback of the advertisement industry. As companies do portray their product, it is not a drawback of the advertisement industry. Companies do portray their products, it is not a drawback. What is the drawback is misleading information. Okay, through advertisement, they are exaggerating misleading information about this product actual goodness. Okay, hence the option that goes in this blank is option A, misinformation. Okay, as it is a recorded session, if I am going fast, you people think before I am reading the question, you can pause between each question, and before I am explaining the question, you can go through the question once and you can play the video. Okay, okay. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 8. It is also a fill in the blank. Okay, let's go to the sentence and understand the sentence once. It is not easy to dash the profoundness of a mother's love for her child. Profound means the depth. If you see the sentence, it is a comparative sentence. It is what is telling it is not easy to compare how a mother's love for her child with anything. We cannot compare a mother's love for her child with anything. It is a comparing. Okay, it is a comparing sentence. Okay, let's see which are the given options is fitting that blank. Okay, overestimate means estimating something more than what it is actually deserved, so it won't come here, it won't suit that blank. It is not easy to overestimate, it won't come. Fluctuate means changes, it won't come. It is not easy to fluctuate means it is not meaningful sentence. Let's go for the sentence equate. Equate is the word used for comparative sentences only. To equating between two things, we can like equating one's strength with others, equating one's height with others. Equate is like a comparative word that is used in comparative sentences. Okay, here it is a comparative sentence. It is not easy to equate the profoundness of a mother's love for her child, which means we cannot equate the profoundness means how much deep a mother's love for her child. We cannot equate it to anything else, so equate will come in the blank 3. But if you see what is the meaning of this evaluate means to assess or measurement. Okay, for example, it is if the sentence is not comparative and is generally telling, like for example, the same sentence, if it is given, it is difficult to dash the profoundness of a mother's love for her child, we can go for evaluate. Means it is difficult to evaluate. It is difficult to evaluate the profoundness of a mother's love for her child. Means we cannot measure how how a mother's love for her child. You can understand how deep a mother's love for her child. So there are two types of sentences here. It is not easy to means here it is a comparative sentence. Hence we are going with equate. If we get a similar sentence like they are measuring something, for example, it is difficult to dash the profoundness of a mother's love for her child, means we will go with evaluate. It is difficult to evaluate and to measure how how to measure how deep a mother's love for her child. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, here two sentences are given, the first sentence and the last sentence, and we have to search for the sentences. Like for example, a sentence 1 and sentence 4 is given, we have to search for sentence 2 and sentence 3 that logically follows the sentence 1 and sentence 4. Okay, For example, they have given the sentence once. Recently, a study was undertaken in the school of the UK to ascertain which country's children has the highest IQ. The first sentence telling about a study was undertaken in a school and to know which country children is having the highest IQ. Okay, let's see the sentence 4. Though the validity of IQ as a measure of intelligence is debatable, this study surely lifted the spirit of the Indian children. Okay, if you see this question clearly, they are mentioning, although there is some disagreements on this measurement of IQs, the study is lifting the spirit of Indian children, which means the result came in favor of the country India. Okay, this is the clue they are giving in the fourth sentence, which means the results are coming in favor of India. Okay, let's go to the first question, first sentence, and we can go what is followed by what is followed here in the next sentence. Okay, a study was undertaken. Let's go through the options. Option P. The study revealed that the Indian children were superior to the natives of other countries. The result was mightily surprising for many educational experts. If this is the truth, then why is there a brain drain in India? Seeing these three options, we can eliminate the option R. Why? Because if you see the sentence 4, it is telling the results are coming in the favor of the India, that thus the study is surely lifting the spirit of the Indians children's. But here is telling, if this is the truth, then why is there a brain drain in India? Which means it is telling the results came opposite to Indian children. So we can eliminate this option R. In between P and Q, after sentence 1, P will follow this sentence 2. Why? Because the sentence 1 is telling a study was undertaken, and sentence 2 is telling and the study is revealed that Indian children were superior. Okay, hence the sentence 1 is followed by P. And if you see clearly, a study was taken and the study results was revealed, and this results was mighty surprising for many education experts. Okay, hence Q will come sentence 3. After this results came, the conclusion, final conclusion, this IQ is measuring of IQ is still debatable. This will lift the spirits of Indian children. This these type of questions is nothing but we have to go through the logical flow. We have to read the first sentence and we have to understand the sentence and we have to read the last sentence and we have to know what it is telling. And in the given options, we have to choose. We have to choose like logical flow of the sentences. For example, if a sentence one is given, what could be the next sentence following that best suits according to the logic flow. Okay, whenever you're dealing with this type of questions, you have to first understand the sentences, what they are. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 10. It is also similar. Four sentences. We have to see the logical flow of the sentences. Okay, let's go through the sentence one. Research suggests that the price of product and advertisements motivate customers to try out new products. Understood? What is this first sentence is telling? Research suggests that the price of products and advertisements motive customers to try out new products, which means customers are motivated by the price of products and advertisements. The first sentence, what it is telling? Customers are motivated by price of products and advertisements. Okay, let's move on to the fourth sentence. Above all, the credibility of the source of the advertised messages, okay, affects the consumer's judgment of performance risk associated with the product being advertised. Okay, the performance risk is nothing but like how the product is advertised and how it is actually working. That is called performance risk. Okay, If you see first and fourth sentences, the first sentence is telling impact of price of products and advertisements, and the fourth sentence is telling about credibility of advertised messages and the performance risks. Okay, if we see the options, the first sentence is telling about the price of products and the advertisements and how it motivates customers. Similarly, if we see the options Q, the relationship between price and perceived performance risk is also impacted by the presentation of an advertised message. Okay, understood? It is similar to the first sentence because the first sentence is telling about how the customers are motivated by products and advertisements. Here also telling again the relationship between the price and the performance risk, how it is impacting the advertised messages. So sentence 1 will followed by sentence 2. If you understand the flow of these four sentences, from the sentence 1, they're getting a conclusion that the customers are getting motivated by the price of products and advertisements. Okay. And after that, by the end of the sentence, they are drawn to a conclusion. Instead of this price of products or advertisements, it is what is most important is the credibility of the advertised messages and the performance risk. Means there is a conflict findings in between both of these sentences. That means what is this conflict? You see the option P, there is a conflicting findings. Conflicting findings means, for example, you are believing in something, and suddenly it changed. Like you have found something that what method you are following now is completely wrong, and you are shifting to a new method. Understood? This is called conflicting findings. Means you are following a method and you are building something and you are following a method. If you found out that method is wrong and you are changing your method, that is called conflict findings. If you see here, there is a drift between the impact of price of products and advertisements to credibility of advertised messages to performance risks. Hence, in between, the conflict findings will come. This will come sentence 3, the relationship between price and perceived performance risk. This sentence will come sentence 2. Hence, the answer is Q P. This will be a bit of confusing because you have to understand what the actual sentence is telling. Sometimes general questions will be given so that we can easily understand, and sometimes these type of questions will come. It will be a bit confusing. We have to know about what conflict findings is, what is the performance risk is. These kind of questions we have to know. So logically we have to think first, what is the meaning of the actual meaning of this sentence. They are telling about price and products. At the final sentence they are telling they have changed their opinion, like they it is depends upon the credibility and the performance risks. Like that you have to see the options first, where the logical flow will be correctly flowing. Okay, let's go on to the second question, next question, which is question number 11. Here a pair of sentences is given, we have to combine it into one better sentence. Okay, whenever a question is given, first of all we have to do is we have to go through the sentence. We have to go through the sentence and we have to clearly understand what they are telling. Okay, the father was happy on his son's birthday. The son was feeding 100 poor men instead of throwing a birthday party. What is the sentence is telling? The father was very happy because it was his son's birthday, and the son, instead of giving a birthday party, he is feeding 100 poor men. Okay, that is the sentence. We have to combine these two both, and we have to give one single sentence. Hence, options are there. We have to cross check whether which option is grammatically correct, which is transitioned into a smooth sentence without any grammatical errors. Okay, let's go through the options so that we can came to know which is the correct option. See the option A. The father was happy to see his son feeding 100 poor men on his birthday instead of throwing a birthday party. The first option is looking good because here using a smooth transition, like the father was happy to see his son feeding 100 poor men on his birthday instead of throwing a birthday party. It's looking grammatically correct and it's a smooth sentence. Okay, let's check other cross check other options so that we can find any other similar answers. Okay, let's go through the second option. The father was happy to see his son throwing a birthday party instead of feeding 100 poor men. If we see the option B, it is completely opposite to what they are mentioned in the sentence. The meaning has changed. According to the given sentence, what they are telling, like his son was throwing a birthday party. Instead, he was feeding 100 poor men. But the option B is telling his son is throwing a birthday party instead of feeding 100 poor men. So it is completely opposite to the sentence they are given. Let's check the option C. The father was happy on his son's birthday. Okay. So the son was feeding 100 poor men instead of throwing a birthday party. See the option C clearly. Okay. Here they mentioned so, which means the father was happy on his son's birthday because his father was happy. His son was feeding 100 poor men instead of throwing a birthday party. It is not correct because in the sentence they didn't mention because his father was happy, his son was feeding 100 poor men. Because that's why option C won't come here. Let's cross check option D. The father was happy to see his son feeding 100 poor men on his birthday and throwing a birthday party. If you see the option D, like they are telling his son has fed 100 poor men and also his son throwing a birthday party. In this sentence, they're telling his son has done both the actions. Like he has fed 100 poor men and also he has thrown a birthday party. But in the actual sentence, they are telling instead of throwing a birthday party means instead of throwing a party, he fed 100 poor men. That means he did not throw a birthday party. Hence, this option D is also wrong because the option D is telling that he has done both the actions. So option 11, so this question 11 option is A. Answer is A. Let's move on to the question number 12. Okay. Which of the following sentences using formal language? That means four options will be given. Each option will have one sentence. We have to see which sentence is formal. Before seeing which sentence is formal, which sentence is informal, we have to first know what is a formal sentence and what is an informal sentence, right? Formal is nothing but professional. It's the sentence should be polite, clear, and a bit professional. Okay, whereas informal means it is like a bit casual, friendly, conversational. These type of a bit of direct and rude. These type of conversations, these are comes under informal speeches. Okay, formal means it should be polite, clear, no contractions, and it should be professional. Okay, contractions means this apostrophe questions. For example, you are this apostrophe or these are contractions. The professional sentences will never have the contractions. This is a clue. For example, sentence A is having contraction. That this means it is not a formal language. It's a formal sentence. Okay. Let's go through the four options. I will tell you why it is not a formal sentence and why it is a formal sentence. Okay. Let's go through the option A. You are not a part of this project. Okay. Here contractions came. Okay, hence it is not a formal language. May I have your introduction. See, previously one question I explained like may is used for permission, which expresses sentences which expresses permissions. Okay, he is asking for permission to have his introduction. May I have your introduction? Hence, it is correct and it is clear and polite. Okay, if you see the option C, it is go on, prove yourself to the world. This is a sentence which is a bit motivational, but it is highly informal. Why? Because in a professional way, we can tell like demonstrate your skills to the world. Like this same sentence, if you want to tell in a professional manner, you can say like demonstrate your skills or demonstrate your skills to a larger audience, like to the world, in the world. Sorry, demonstrate your skills to a larger audience in the world. Like that, you can tell. See the fourth option here also contractions will be there. We will meet you in an hour. Generally, in a professional way, we'll say we'll schedule a meeting. Okay, we'll schedule a meeting in an hour like that. Hence, this also not a formal. And the correct option is option B. Let's move on to the next question. Here also it is a paragraph which is having two blanks. On each blank, one sentence will come. We will first go through the paragraph and we'll see which option, which sentence will come at that particular time of paragraph. Okay, first we'll go through the sentence. We do not understand the value of good health until it is lost. What they are telling, we do not understand the value of a good health until it is lost. Okay, good health is a blessing to cherish and an asset to protect. Okay, they're talking about a good health and they're telling until it is there, we should not know the value of it. In between, we have to see. It is human nature to disregard everything that is easily available to them. If you see, it will best it will best fit the blank one. Why? Because they're just telling the value of good. We don't understand the value of good health until it is lost, and it is followed by this sentence. It is human nature to disregard everything that is easily available to them. So these two are logically one followed by another. Okay. So option A is best fit in this blank. Let's see for this blank. Eating healthy, having ample sleep, and not indulging in smoking or drinking are a few of the rules of good health. They're telling we have to, these are called daily habits. We have to do eating healthy, having ample sleep, not involving into smoking or drinking. These are the habits. Okay. We and in the other two options, we'll see which option will better fit here. We should also pay visits to the doctor for complete body checkups at regular intervals. Okay. Another option is we must make efforts to keep our lifestyle in accordance with the rules of good health. Okay. They're talking about the option B. We must make efforts to keep our lifestyle in accordance with the rules of a good health. Means they're talking about the lifestyle and to keep how to keep in order to be in the rules of a good health. If you see here, this is called eating healthy, these are called the lifestyle. So if you see logically, option B will come at the second blank. We must make efforts to keep our lifestyle in accordance with the rules of good health. And this lifestyle includes this eating healthy, having ample sleep, and are not indulging in smoking or drinking, and a few of the rules of good health. Like this, you have to find out these logical sentences. Okay, I think it is clear. Whenever the sentences is come, you have to clearly understand the sentences and you have to see what could be following the next according to the previous sentences. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 14. Here also similar, two blanks are there. Two blanks, two sentences will come. Hence, we have to go through the sentence first. When one takes a calcium supplement, one must also make sure that the diet is rich in vitamin D. Okay. If there is not sufficient vitamin D intake, the body does not generate the hormone calcitrol. Then the body starts to take calcium from its deposits in the skeleton. It's an easy paragraph because let's see. I'll tell you the first sentence. What it is telling? It is telling whenever a calcium supplement is taken, we have to make sure along with that, vitamin D also taken. Why? Will follow the next section. That's it, right? They're telling whenever a calcium supplement is taken, we have to take along with it vitamin D. What could be the next sentence? Why? Why we have to take? Well, let's see the options. Because the vitamin makes the absorption of the calcium possible. Because this vitamin is also very good for bone health. If you see, it seems like both A and B are good for the blank one. But if you see the next sentence, that if there is not sufficient vitamin D intake, the body does not generate the hormone calcitrol. Okay, here it is not. Here option B is telling we we are taking calcium supplement along with that vitamin D is taking. We are taking vitamin D also. The option B is telling because vitamin is also good for bone health because and it is having no impact on calcium. But the sentence 3 here it is telling if you don't take vitamin D, it won't absorb calcium. Sorry, it won't. The body does not generate calcitrol, which comes from a calcium supplement. From calcium supplement, it will generate a hormone calcitrols. Hence, option B is not correct. If you see option A, because this vitamin makes the absorption of calcium possible. That's why we are taking vitamin D along with calcium supplement. If there is not sufficient vitamin D intake, then the body does not generate the hormone calcitrol. Then the body starts to take the calcium from its deposits in the skeleton. What happens if the body starts to take calcium from the body skeleton? Here is option C, which weakens existing bone and gradually diminishes whole structure. First, we have to read the sentence, we have to understand the sentence, and we have to see which option better fits into the sentence. I think you are clear with this question and answer. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 15, combining two sentences into one better sentence. I think this question is repeated. We already discussed this question like the father was happy on his son's birthday. The son was feeding 100 poor men instead of throwing a birthday party. Yeah, we have discussed this question. And the option is correct option is option E. Okay, we'll skip this question as we already discussed this. We'll move to the next question, which is question number 16. Okay, the question number 16 it is based on formal language. The four options are given. In these four options, we have to choose which sentence is a formal language. Okay, let's go through each option one by one and we can find out which is the which sentence best follows formal language. As we all know, Formal language means polite, clear, and a bit professional. Okay. Let's see the option A. Can you drop me a text later? Always remember, in a formal language, we will never use the word text. Instead, we will use message, and also we won't use the letter drop. Instead, we will use send. So the correct word is, can you send me a message later? Which is a formal sentence. Can you drop me a text later? Means it is informal, hence it is wrong. Kindly provide the necessary documents by tomorrow. If you see the sentence, it is polite, clear, and professional. Okay, let's move on to the option C. Let's catch up sometime soon. By seeing this option itself, we can came to know that is it is a casual talk. Okay, let's catch up means it is a casual talk, hence it is a informal sentence. Okay, let's move on to the option D. I will ping you when I am free. The ping is a word which is a tech word which is not used in a formal sentence. Instead, we can use I will contact you or I will call you when I am available. Instead of free, in a formal sentence, we will use available. And also, by simply we can see the contractions like I will, let's, this apostrophes. These are called contractions. Wherever this contractions is there, those sentences are informal. By seeing these contractions itself, we can find out what are the informal sentence. Hence, among all these four, option B is the formal sentence. His answer is option B. Think it's clear? Let's move on to the next sentence. Question number 17. Fill in the blanks with the most appropriate set of words from the options given below. The painter felt the ladder began to slip, so he grabbed the gutter, dashed himself from failing. You see here are two sentences are given. That means two actions, one followed by another. The first action is the painter felt that the ladder is going to slip. It is starting to slip. And the second option is then he started the grabbing the gutter in order to save himself from failing. If you see here, the first option is started in the past and continuing, which is past continuing. If you see the options here, what is the past continuing is option B, begin slipping. The action that is started in the past and continuing. Okay. And we have two more options, which is to save and for saving. Here, for saving is irrelevant to what is discussed in the sentence. For saving is generally used in a way like in a sentence, it is used where it is benefiting others. For example, let's take an example. This discount is for saving money. Okay. Now you people is understood what is the difference between for saving or to saving. To is for a purpose we are doing. For saving is it is not intended to come in this blank. It is irrelevant. Okay. Then the correct option is the painter felt the ladder began slipping, so he grabbed the gutter to save himself from failing. Okay, is the correct option is option B. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 18. Okay, here dash but could not get it to start this morning. Here also a question like one action followed by another. That means two sentences, one action performed by followed by another. Here by these four options we can came to know what is about this sentence. He had this car serviced yesterday, but he is not able to start this morning. Understood? According to the context, but could not get to start this morning means he had serviced it. He tried to start it today morning, but he had serviced it yesterday, which is past. Simply, yesterday means it is telling about the tense that is happened in the past. If you see all the options, get is present tense, this is present perfect, only the sentence that is past and participle I got is the past and service is the participle is the option C. Okay. And when we use this I have the car service yesterday means this is the present perfect tense. When we will use this is for the just completed actions. For example, I arrived at the station that like the train has just left the station, which is has plus V3. Here have plus V3, which is the present perfect. The present perfect is used for the just completed actions, not the actions that is completed yesterday. Okay. And this is I get the car service yesterday. Yesterday means past tense, which happened in yesterday means past. Get means present tense, hence it won't suit yesterday tense. Means among all the options, which best fits is the option C. Understood? I think it's clear. We'll go to the next question. Here a sentence is given and a part of the sentence is having error. We have to find out which part of the sentence is having error. Okay. He realized he had to undergo an MRI test, but was too frightened. First of all, understood the sentence. He has to undergo a MRI test, but he was too frightened. Frightened means it is what noun, verb, or adjective. Think once. He realized he had to undergo an MRI, but he was too frightened. Here, frightened, what it will come? It is noun, verb, or adjective. It is telling about the subject he, hence it will is called adjective, right? Here is the rule. Frightened is not an adjective. Okay. Frightened is a verb form. For example, the loud voice frightens the baby. Example. Here, what is frightens means verb, right? The loud voice frightens the baby, which is a verb form. Whenever we are using in the sense of verb, we will go with frightens. Okay. Whenever we are going with an adjective, for example, the same sentence, if I use the frighten as an adjective, how we can use the baby was frightened by the loud voice. Okay. Here frightened is what? Adjective. Because it's telling about the emotions of the subject. Hence, it is an adjective. Remember the simple rule. The frightened is a verb form whereas frightened is an adjective. Frightened is adjective. Okay. And there is another word called frightening. When we use frightening means when something is causing us fear, will use frightening. For example, the horror movie is frightening, which causes fear. Here are the three words of frightened when we have to use. According to this, if you see here, he realized he had to undergo an MRI test, but was too frightened is a wrong option because frightened is a verb form, not a it's a verb usage. What is the best fit here? Frightened. Okay, because it is an adjective has to come here. We'll go with the word frightened. Hence, the error is option A. Option A is having error. Here it should come frightened. Okay, I think it's clear. Everyone understood. But make sure when we'll go frightened and frightened, if similar sentences will come in future, you can understand and you can identify the error easily. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Read the following passage and fill in the blanks by selecting the most appropriate action. Okay, a passage is given that's followed by two blanks. We have to choose which best fits, which option best fits in the blanks. Okay, I think it's very simple. Okay, I will explain. Experts suggest that it may take the development of multiple actions to begin the process of protecting the world's population from COVID-19. Most of the current vaccine from frontline runners requires two dash that could possibly be administered manually. No vaccine is 100% effective. And once a vaccine is approved, there are still many dash to overcome before a shot can be made widely available. When you see option one, it is clear, it is very clear that most of the current vaccines front runners require two what doses. Vaccines means two doses of vaccines, not spells, circles, or boards. Boards is also a word that is express illness like a bout of flu, like that. It's express illness, but it's not uh, about vaccines. Okay, hence doses will come at the first blank. The front runner requires two doses of vaccine. Okay, no vaccine is 100% effective. And once a vaccine is approved, there are still many what hurdles. There are many hurdles to overcome. Okay, which one best suits the blank to? Tracks won't suit, gems won't suit, snacks means small problems. But here are still many. They are mentioned many. So snacks won't come. What is the thing remaining? Hurdles. Okay, I think it's clear. Okay, next move on to the next question. 21. The general could not dash his soldiers to march forward, dash the lure of extra money and food. To understand the sentence, the general could not dash his soldiers to march forward. Means he is not allowing his soldiers to march forward. Instead of they are attracting with lure means attracting with extra money and food also. They are not ordering his soldiers to march forward. That is the meaning of the question. Now, in order the given context of the sentence, you will see the options. Okay, the general could not tell his soldiers it will come forward, the nonetheless won't come. Ask, these are the general sentences, it will fit here. Tell will fit, ask will fit, force also it's a similar meaning will come. But what will make the difference is in whenever examination there will be sentences that is similar in meaning. We have to choose which sentence is aptly correct and which makes the difference. For example, we already went through this in the first question. Meaning of the persuade. When persuade will come means when you are encouraging someone to do some action, then persuade is. Here the general is encouraging souls not to not to march forward. Hence, among all these, persuade will better fit in this blank. Okay, despite means in spite of. Despite means in spite of. The general would not persuade, encourage his soldiers to march forward. In spite of means instead of like they offered, lure means attracted with extra money and food, he did not accepted. That's this in spite of the lure of extra money and food, the general could not persuade his soldiers to march forward. Okay, I think you understood. Sometimes there will be questions like they will give off here and they will give despite one option and another option in spite. Okay, in spite and despite, what is the difference is despite means in spite of. If they are given off here, you should not choose despite. Means despite itself means in spite of, again one off will come. Okay, if there is no off here, we can go for despite. Sometimes they will give off here and they will go for despite and in spite two options. That is one case of identifying the errors. Okay. Okay, I think it's clear. We'll move on to the next question. The following three sentences can be revised into one better sentence. Okay. Choose the sentence that is the best version. Here, three sentences are given and they have combined into one sentences in the given options. We have to choose which is the best version. Okay. Whenever, okay, first we'll go through the sentence. He told us he had read Milton. Okay. He had read it in a prose translation when he was 14. What he is telling, what is the what is the subject? What is the main action? Like this is the continuous action, other actions. What is the main action is he had read Milton. He is telling he had read Milton. And continuingly he is telling where he had read it, at where he had read it, at what age he has read it. But what is the main action? He had read Milton. Okay. Here he is the subject. He told us he had read Milton. It is the main action followed by he read it in a prose translation when he was 14. Here time is mentioned. When time is mentioned and in the past, that is was 14, it should be followed by a past perfect. Okay, that had plus v3. Okay, when combining these three sentences in the options, what we have to look for is first, any good sentence will come first, the subject, the main action. That means it has to come first. And also, when the time is mentioned with the past that has happened in past, at the age of 14, he has read it, means it has to follow the past perfect. Okay. If you see the option A, subject followed by main action. He told us he had read Milton in a prose translation when he was 14. And also here past time period, it is following by past perfect. Have read. Hence option A is correct. If you see other options also, it is not following the main action. Okay. It is going for other actions and coming back. Here also is the mentioned past was 14 correctly, but it is not past perfect. It is present tense. Okay, like that you have to cross check. Is the present perfect they have given. Okay, like that you have to cross check and you have to look for correct option. Okay, now we'll move on to the next question. Question number 23. These are all the logical flow of sentences. We have to read the sentences and we have to best pick the logical flow of the sentences. Okay. What is the sentence one? India's rural districts, home to nearly 74% of the Indian population, accounted for 65% of all COVID 19 tests conducted in August, and 55% of new cases reported that month. And no need to read all the things, we have to see what they're telling. They're giving a statistics about Indian rural districts. Okay, let's come to the last sentence. This is the first time that the district level data on testing from across the country was made public. The sentence is clearly mentioning that district level data on testing from across the country was made public for the first time. Understood? The telling the district level data is made public for the first time. That means the previous sentence, what it will come? The district level data of throughout the country. That's it, right? Okay, let's see the sentences. The government will start distributing wheat and ragi through the public distribution sector in October, which is not mentioned anywhere else. The government this week released in Parliament data on the number of COVID cases conducted in each of the India's 734 districts in August. Understood? This will come sentence 3. Why? Here they mention district level data is published for the first time across the country. The previous sentence should be the district levels, all the districts data. Okay, it will come, it will be suit before the sentence 4. Here you can see the sentence are they're discussing about urban districts statistics, right? What is the first sentence is discussing rural. What could be the second one? Urban. What is the third one? Total India's rural and urban all the districts data. Third one. And this is the final conclusion. Hence, sentence one or Q. I think it's clear. The sentence one is discussing about rural districts. Sentence two is about urban districts. Combining these two, total all the districts across the India. Sentence three, and this is the final conclusion statement. Let's move on to the next question. One part of the sentence is having an error. Identify the part. To know, to know the error in this sentence, first you have to understand what is rein and what is rule. Reign is nothing but it is the period of time. It is the period of time the king ruled. Rule is nothing but an act or a governing, as we generally know, the king rule like that. For example, in a sentence, we have to tell the king's rule lasted 30 years. The king's reign lasted 30 years, which is it is telling the period of time the king ruled. In those cases, we will use reign. But here they're telling the reign of the king was clearly coming to an end. Means it is a wrong sentence. What is wrong in it? Reign. What it has to come? Rule. Whenever, for example, if they're mentioning like the the dash of the king lasted 30 years, then we will go with reign because it is telling of the period of time of king's reign. Okay. Uh, Understood the difference between the rule and the reign. When we have to go with rule and when we have to go with reign. Okay. I think it's clear. The reign we have to use when a period of time is there. They're discussing about a period of time and when the rule will come, it is telling about the rule of the king. Okay. Let's move on to the last question. Question number 25. In this test paper, we mostly got the error of the sentences and logical questions only, and some formal and informal, one or two model and model verbs. Okay. This is also a logical flow of questions. These are simple only if you can. First of all, you have to clearly identify the clues. You have to understand the sentences. They will give clues to the next question or the previous sentences. You have to understand. See, Dias, Dias, who knew farming intimately, came up with the ambitious goal of planting 1 million jackfruits across Sri Lanka. Okay, a person named Dias, who knew farming very well, he came up with a goal. Okay, he wants to plant 1 million jackfruit trees across the country, Sri Lanka. Okay, that is the first sentence. He's planning to plant 1 million jackfruits. Okay, next comes with blank one. Okay, next third sentence. He visited villages to distribute the jackfruit seedlings and mailed seeds to far-flung countries of the country. Okay, the third sentence what is telling. He visited a village by village, all the villages, and he has distributed all the jackfruit seedlings. Seedlings means first of all he kept a goal that he has to plant all the trees, and another one sentence is blank. The followed by sentence what they're telling, they distributed all the jackfruit seeds to and mailed the seeds to far flung corners of the country. Means he has distributed all the seeds that he has gathered to all the corners of the country. Okay. The final sentence is today Dias is considered national hero. Today Dias is considered as a national hero means previously what the sentence will come, they will mention what are the achievements that he has done and he has become a national hero. Okay, let's go through the options and we'll see which options best fit in the blanks. Okay, first sentence they are telling they have kept a goal to plant 1 million jackfruits. Okay, the English students plan to kill Dias by poisoning him. It won't fit here. It is not coming anywhere. A planter by trade, Dias imported jackfruit seeds from Malaysia and gathered healthy seeds for germination. See this option Q, sentence Q. A planter by trade, Dias imported jackfruit seeds from Malaysia and gathered healthy seeds for germination. The first sentence, what is telling? He's having a goal of planting 1 million jackfruit trees. Third sentence, he distributed all the jackfruit seeds. Okay, what it between come in between what sentence has to come, he has imported the jackfruit seeds from Malaysia. Okay, he has imported the jackfruit seeds from Malaysia, and he is after importing he distributed to all the corners of the country. Okay. Next, that this comes in the blank one. Next, he visited villages to distribute the jackfruit seedlings for the country. Today Dias is considered national hero. Okay. Over time, Dias' campaign paved the way for many successful jackfruit plantations across the country and earned him heroic name of Cos Mama or Uncle Jack. You can see, like by seeing the sentence, this sentence yes itself, we can came to know he's telling about their achievements, and it should be followed by today Dias is considered as a national hero. Then S will come. Okay. These type of sentences, whenever it comes, you have to understood the sentences and you can go through the options which best follows logically. Okay, these are the 25 questions of the verbal TCS verbal test paper 3. We have a similar type of questions in this set of papers like mostly modals, error of sentences. Okay, I think everything is clear. We know we have studied about the subject verb agreements, singular subject, singular verbs will come, plural subjects, plural verbs will come, and we will study about modal verbs when may will come, like when we are asking for a permission, a sentence which expressing permission or possibility may will come, and which says a sentence which expresses ability and politely requesting, then can or could will come. Okay, those things we discussed here the difference between the persuaded and convinced. Convinced means to change someone's opinion. Persuaded means to convincing someone in order to take some action. Okay, these are the two main differences between. Generally, people will students will confuse. from persuaded to convinced. We have studied about these things. Higher is always used for altitudes. Okay, these are the logical flow of questions we have seen. We have seen combining the sentences. Let's see about formal and informal languages. Whenever there are contractions, it will be informal. Okay, okay. These are the main types of questions we have seen. Formal and informal, fill in the blanks. Of course, we have covered some more topics. This combination of sentences depends on some tenses. These are verbs, adjective differences, which words to come when it comes to parts of speech. Like when it is verb, which word will come? When it is adjective, which word will come? Okay, I think everything is clear. Okay, thank you for your time. Okay, thank you.